guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading, we'll be doing the general reading for the month of December 2017. Hard to believe that we are entering the last month of the year. This year certainly seems to have gone by very quickly. Just a couple of announcements before we actually get into the reading. First of all, for today's reading, I will be doing a 10-card Celtic cross spread using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. I'll pull one additional card from the Soul's Journey Lesson Card deck by James van Praagh. If I need to clarify anything, I will probably use the Sibylla's, or I might use the Shadowscapes Tarot deck. But I will leave all of the information on the decks that I use in the reading in the description box below the video. These are, just to remind everybody, these are general readings for each of the astrological signs. So the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way that you can really get, a personalized reading that really focuses on you and what's going on specifically in your life is by ordering a private reading. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, all of the information can be found on my website. That is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. You can also email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. And just to let you know, during the month of December, I will put out, in addition to this general reading, I will put out the mid-monthly reading focusing on love and career and finance. And I will put out one additional video for the upcoming years. That will be a special 2018 preview focusing on the energy surrounding us for each of the months of 2018. And that will be for each of the astrological signs. So be looking out for that as well. And I'm wishing everybody a wonderful month. This is a month with lots of holidays. It's the holiday season. So I'm sending much love and light your way. Okay, give me 1 second and I will be right back with the shuffle. See you in a minute. Hi Virgo, hope you're doing well and are having a wonderful month. So I'm here to do your general reading for the month of December 2017. I'll start off with the tarot cards. I have already been shuffling and meditated off camera, but I will give the deck a few more shuffles. So Spirit, what does Virgo need to know regarding the energies surrounding the sign for the month of December 2017? What does Virgo need to hear? What are the messages for Virgo? For the last month. Cards are popping out here. Last month of the year of December 2017. What does Virgo need to hear? What are the messages? Can you show me the messages for Virgo? December 2017 messages for Virgo. Okay. That feels right. Okay, Virgo, so the card at the center of the reading, you had fall out the Six of Swords. And that card is crossed by the Eight of Cups. Two walking away cards. In the foundation of the reading, we have the Seven of Wands. In the past position, we have the High Priestess, Major Arcana. Crowning your reading, you have the Five of Swords. Move these over. In the future position, you have the Three of Cups. You in the reading are the Queen of Wands. Move these out of the way as well. Surrounding energy, we have the Six of Cups. Your hopes and fears. The Queen of Swords. And the outbound energy. So the energy leaving the month of December, entering into the new year, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, and the overall energy for this month, for the month of December, you have the Four of Swords. Okay, let me pull the cards from the other two Oracle cards decks. And I think I forgot to mention the Soulful Woman deck when I was doing the introduction. But I'll pull first from the Soul's Journey deck by James Van Praagh. So Spirit, what additional message does Virgo need to hear for the month of December 2017? Please show us one additional message for Virgo for December 2017. What does Virgo need to hear? And we have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Huh. We'll see how this ties in with everything once we get into the reading. Okay. And one card from the Soulful Woman deck. And I will arrange everything after I pull this last card. So what additional message does Virgo need to hear for the month of December 2017? One additional message for Virgo for December 2017. What does Virgo need to hear? What is an additional message for Virgo? And we have the unknown. I bow to the infinite intelligence of the cosmos, and my next steps are revealed. That's a beautiful card. So it's called The Unknown, card number 41. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just set everything up here, and I will be right back with the reading. All right, Virgo. So before we get into the reading, I think I'm going to pull a couple of clarifiers. And this is using the Shadowscapes deck. Just a couple of clarifiers on the Four of Swords here for the overall energy of the reading, and the Five of Swords as the crowning energy. So starting off with the Four of Swords, what additional messages do you have for Virgo for the Four of Swords? Please clarify the Four of Swords in Virgo's reading for the month of December. What does Virgo need to know? Okay. And we have as the first card, okay, Major Arcana, the World, followed by Major Arcana, Temperance, and the last clarifier, Major Arcana, the Fool. Okay, so lots of divine energy around you here, and we'll get into the meaning. And on the Five of Swords, I have I'm sorry, I didn't show you, did I? The Hangman, another Major Arcana. Actually, I'll set it there for now, but I'll move everything so you can see it. Another Major Arcana, the World. Wow. And the Eight of Pentacles. That's funny. You have the Eight of Pentacles as the outbound energy for this month, and we have the Eight of Pentacles here again. Okay. I'll get into what all of that means in 1 second. So starting off with our overall energy for you, Virgo, for the month of December, you have the Four of Swords. Now, Swords energy, this is air energy. So this has to do with its cerebral energy, so our thoughts, right? Our thoughts and how our thoughts manifest, and the importance of our thoughts, right? Our thoughts they can be the very positive things if we plant seeds of good thoughts. But if we plant, negative seeds or seeds of anxiety, seeds of worry, then it's very difficult for something positive to grow out of that. So the Suit of Swords also has to do with communication, conflict and resolution, action, change as well, and power. Okay, so again, a lot of cerebral, a lot of thinking, and this card itself, the Four of Swords, is a card that symbolizes, taking time out, right? Needing to rest. So if you have been going through a very, a difficult time or a very draining time, a very taxing time for you, this is the Four of Swords. It indicates a time of withdrawing. So, withdrawal from maybe, dealing with people or more social kind of activities, and really taking time out for yourself, right? To reflect on things, to recuperate. We can see that the woman here, she's, she's wearing this sort of very strappy kind of dress, but she's laid in the snow here. So it's kind of like, makes me think of when, many times when athletes, they've fought very hard, they've struggled very hard to win a race or to, for a particular challenge. And then they're kind of, they're exhausted and they're bruised and battered, and they need to just, take a time out or lay down in an ice bath or put ice on everything in order for them to recover. And that's kind of, that's when I look at her, that's what I kind of get off of her. Also, I'm drawn to the color red in the red of her dress, the red petals and roses around her. And also, if we look over here at the red, which is very prominent in the card, or the two cards actually, that we have as the additional energy. And so red is the color of, makes me think of, the suit of wands. It's the color of fire, the color of physical energy and passion and desire and will. If we think of the chakras, the root chakra, right? Red, it's sort of associated with the root chakra, which is all about stability and growth. Sorry, I had to pause. I was going to sneeze. Yeah, so the root chakra is very linked with our sort of those primal needs of survival, of self-preservation, right? So this has to do with of energy and action and courage, but it also has to do with change. And I do, I feel that there is change surrounding your reading for the month of December. And we see that we take a look at the cards that I pulled as clarifiers. We have, the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about karmic cycles and cycles ending, right? And new beginnings. And, the Wheel of Fortune sort of moving around now in your favor. So if things have been difficult, and this is in sort of the past position here, if you have been through difficult things, now is a time, it's sort of divine timing, and things are really moving ahead for you. Now it's time for that to happen. And we also see that with the Temperance card. The Temperance, it's a card about balance. It's a card about finding or the need to find balance. It's also a card that has to do with waiting, divine timing, needing to really wait for the right time to act on something or for something to happen. And then, in the future is the Fool, which is new beginnings. It's the 0 card in the Major Arcana. And this is all about, being fearless and being really, stepping out and moving on and stepping off the ledge into, new things that are coming in for you here. And we see that she's tied up. She has all these beautiful doves flying around her, but she's wrapped up in this red right? So we have, and again, there's red flowers down here, and we have her tied up in the red. So it's red. It definitely, it feels as if there is change. There's kind of stepping out into the unknown here. But this has been after a time of waiting, a time of, reflection. So I think that during the month of December, you are, or it's important that you take this time out to kind of recover, reflect on things before you start off on this, this new journey here. Okay. And I'll tie this back in at the end when I kind of wrap up the reading, but that's the overall energy. And the two cards, when I first pulled them, I said, oh, well, these have to, they both have the feeling of walking away, which makes me think of, the new things and moving towards new things. We have at the center of the reading the Six of Swords, so more swords energy, which again is cerebral energy. But the Six of Swords is about leaving behind, something that no longer serves you, and moving towards something that is going to bring you greater happiness, something that's more in line with, with who you are today. This isn't talking about who you were maybe, a year ago or 2 years ago. This is talking about leaving behind something. And it does have to do with kind of a choppy waters, right? In the traditional tarot deck, the woman is she's in the boat, and she has her back turned, much like the woman here. But she's sailing away, right? She's sailing from very choppy waters into much calmer waters. And so, it feels, and actually I covered it up here with I'll show you again. We have the Five of Swords is the crowning energy. We have the Four of Swords as the overall energy. So 4, 5, and then we have the Six of Swords at the center of the reading. So kind of a progression here, but with having that at the center, it does tell me that you're moving away, and this is definitely a period of transition and moving away from something in your past. And even though you're kind of sad, there is a sense of sadness when you leave something behind. There's also this anticipation for the journey ahead, and so we have that here. So with the Wheel of Fortune turning, there is this new energy of the Fool coming in. Right. And, so it's a sad kind, and we see kind of this dark energy here, which does make us feel kind of sad, but she's heading into the light here, right? The clouds are parting. She's giving way to light. She's kind of dropped her swords here. That's enough. And she's moving on. Right. And that's the crossing card. What crosses that is the Eight of Cups, which is another moving away card. Right? Except instead of swords energy, this is cups energy, which has to do with our has to do with our emotions, our feelings, and how those feelings and emotions sort of affect and influence our daily lives, our relationships, right? Everything that we kind of touch on a day-to-day basis, how our emotions can affect those things. And the Eight of Cups is a card that speaks of sadness, abandoning the old to try to move towards, something that is more emotionally fulfilling. So in search of some type of change or deeper meaning. So the person is very sad, very tired really about the way that things have been, right? And so when this card appears, it's urging you to really move on, right? It's also a card of transition, and is urging you to really leave this part of the past behind in order to go in search of something that's more emotionally fulfilling for you. So there's a sense of reluctance, there's a sense of sadness around both of these cards. But both of them have you see the images are quite similar, even though they're two different suits. We have the two women walking away. So this is leaving behind something, a kind of stormy past, the turbulent waters, difficult situation. Both cards are transition cards, so moving on to better things. But you're not there yet, right? So you're moving towards that, and you see that here. There's been this, time out, and there's been things are changing, but there's this waiting period, right, before you set off on this new adventure. At the foundation of the reading, you have the Seven of Wands. So Wands energy is fire, right? It's the fire suit. And it has to do with our drive, our passions, right? Things that we're very excited about. Usually it has to do with sort of our day-to-day tasks, the work that we do. Has to do with strength and determination and our ambition. Um, and the Seven of Wands, this is a card that it has, you can see here that the man, he's definitely outnumbered, right? You see he's facing all of these swords here. So we have the 6 swords facing him. So he's outnumbered, but he is at a higher point, a high position than everybody else. So he has this sort of upper hand in the situation. He also carries this the shield to defend himself, and he also has this dragon, which they don't have. So even though he is outnumbered in whatever this dispute is, or conflict, or struggle, he is definitely, he has the upper hand. So this might be, this might be you sort of having to defend yourself against other people, or coming up against some type of sort of opposing forces, or people questioning, you, or questioning your thoughts. And it's a card that also tells you to stick to what you believe, be authentic, stick to who you are, right? Don't try to change for anybody else. Defend your point of view. Defend what you really truly believe in. And even though, the world can be full of difficult situations and stiff competition, right? You really must have to have the courage to, attack these things, face these things head on. And that's exactly what he's doing. In the past position, we have a major arcana. So this is the High Priestess, card number 2. And the High Priestess, she is very intuitive, right? She is somebody who kind of, she rules the unconscious world, right? She rules intuition. She rules the divine realms. When she appears in the reading, she brings in a sense of calm, right? She helps us sort of seek out and really find a deeper meaning, a deeper understanding, wisdom, knowledge. So she is this, she does kind of represent everything that, all this unseen energy is very powerful energy. She's a major arcana card. She's also surrounded here. You can see that she is standing on the crescent moon, right? And we know that the moon is also, highly related to intuition and the hidden realms. And she has butterflies flying around her, right? So beautiful butterflies encircling her, which have to do with rebirth, eternal life, which kind of goes along with in the Wheel of Fortune. They're not butterflies, but kind of. We have all these little fairies flying around here, right? But it's also this idea of, things changing, right? Things being reborn, new cycles, rebirth. So I definitely get that off of this, this High Priestess. And when she comes in, she also encourages us to tune into that, that inner knowledge, that deep knowledge that we have, that sometimes, we receive these messages from our higher self, and maybe we don't listen to them always, or we sort of write them off as being, oh, that's just, that's nothing, or I just thought that, but that's not really anything. When she appears, she really does encourage us to listen to that, to those messages, right? Because it's really, it's our higher self, it's the universe kind of trying to step in and give us messages, but we have to be open to receiving them. So you have this in the past position. So this could be you, over the last month or so, month, 2 months, really focusing or listening, tuning in more to your intuition while dealing with a possible, difficult situation where you've had to defend yourself, or, just in general with a decision that maybe you needed to make, but it's you have been more in tune, I would say, than normal with this card appearing. Now with the 5 of Swords card, as the crowning energy, so the energy in your thoughts, right? You have the Five of Swords, which is not a great card. It's another card of conflict, right? And whereas this is a card of defending yourself and needing to be true to yourself, the the Five of Swords card is a card that speaks of betrayal, right? It's not a very nice card. It's a card that has to do with, somebody cheating or using an unfair advantage to win. So when this card appears, many times it's cautioning us really that we must look out for ourselves, right? Yes, we need to defend ourselves and what is rightly ours, but we should never hurt others while trying to achieve that, right? Because that will only lead to a shallow victory. And we see here that on this card, let me show you, the woman she's standing there, she's crying, she's looking very sad, right? She has two swords stabbing her in the back. So a definite, a card of betrayal, backstabbing. And we have the other person walking away, carrying away the three swords. He should be feeling very happy because he defeated her, whatever the battle was, he won. But he's looking back. It's like there's this regret involved in this victory. So the person won, but at the expense of harming the other person, right? So it's that kind of shallow victory where, yes, you might have won that particular battle, but, did you really stay true to who you are as a person, or did you have to act in a, in kind of a, what am I trying to say? Like a deceitful way in order to do so, right? So it's that type of energy. So if this is somebody who has done this to you, and you have this on your mind, and this is something that, that you have experienced, and with this card here, it's showing that, you're walking away from that now. So if this was something that, and I feel that it's more that you had this happen to you, and this can play out, in any or a million different ways here with conflict. I think it's just saying that, just know that, and I guess I'm being drawn back to this Wheel of Fortune, which is also kind of karmic ties here, right? And this so karma is definitely, I feel like it's at play here, as that came out on the you recovering, during this period. So if somebody did treat you in that way, it might take a while, but things always have a way of coming back on them. And so as long as you act the way that, you deep down know is the correct way for you to act as you defend yourself, because we can defend ourselves and state our point of view and be true to ourselves without having to attack other people or hurt other people, right? So it's just staying true to who you really are. And the cards that came out on, and this is a clarifier, which we have the Hangman, which is about seeing things from a different perspective, timing, divine timing. We have the World card, but I'm also drawn to the huge moon that we have up here on the card, right, which is just beautiful. But the World card is also, so you have the Fool card come out on the Four of Swords, and then we have the World card, which is the end of the major arcana, whereas the Fool is the zero, the beginning of the major arcana. So there is definitely, endings here. So seeing things from a different perspective, endings, and then with the Eight of Pentacles, which is I'll get to that as the outbound energy. But I feel like you have been doing a lot of soul searching. You've been doing a lot of internal work, as you work through this, the Five of Swords and the Four of Swords. This is also, taking time out, but you've really been, focusing on you and trying to make those improvements in preparation of, these new beginnings, but trying to be the best version of yourself as you're going through this. I see that there is going to be celebration. So whatever you have been going through, and there is in the new things coming in, there's celebration attached to it. There's the Three of Cups card, which is, cups energy. So again, the happiness, the love, the emotional fulfillment. And the Three of Cups, many times it can just be a a get together, right? So this could just be you, and especially as this is the month of the holidays, we have a lot of additional get-togethers that we don't usually have, right? With all of the office parties and the Christmas parties or the Hanukkah parties or whatever are invited to. There are a lot of additional get-togethers this time of year. And the Three of Cups, it is a celebration, right? And this can be celebrating just a friendship. This can be celebrating something bigger, right? Like a pregnancy or news of a pregnancy or news of an engagement or getting married, right? But whatever it is it's sharing time together, enjoying other people's company, and feeling very happy. There's sort of a great deal of abundance and happiness associated with this card. So having that in the future position, whatever you are leaving behind here in the middle, it's definitely positive, right? There's beautiful energy coming in the future with the Three of Cups card. Now you, in the reading, Virgo, you appear as the Queen of Wands. So obviously this is not your suit, right? This isn't your energy, but it's the energy that you are taking on or maybe taking on during the month of December. So the Queen of Wands energy, much like we were discussing here, this is, it's all to do with, it's very active energy. It's very creative, very passionate, real sort of go-getter. And the Queen of Wands is somebody she's kind of in a million different places at one time, right? So, and that makes sense, again, this time of year. Many of us do kind of stretch ourselves thin with all of the additional engagements that we have, in addition to our regular, our work, our family, our friends. So it's just you being all over the place at one time. But she is somebody who is, she's very vivacious. She's somebody who really is able to draw people in to her, right? She has a very magnetic, energetic type of personality, very warm, very confident, very caring, very optimistic as well, right? Somebody who's very strong and capable. So she has that creative vision, and she is, she's sure that she will achieve whatever she sets her mind to, because that's just what she does, right? She sets her goal and she goes after it. And she has here, you see the globes, right? Sort of, so she has this clear vision of what she wants. So I see that, this could be many of you during the month of December, Virgo. This could be you just feeling as though, you are on the right path and you're really going after what you have set as your goal now, right? After taking this, decision here and moving away, you're ready to embark on this new phase of your life, and you're confident that you will achieve it. You're feeling very powerful, feeling very, very sure of yourself this month. So I think that's a very nice energy to have as your energy. So definitely, feeling passionate, but that passion sort of inspired by spirit, right? In your environment, you have the Six of Cups. So again, this is water energy, so emotions and our feelings and intuition. But the Six of Cups is a card that has to do with nostalgia. And this card does come up quite a bit. I see it during, periods like this, the holiday season, because it's a card that it speaks of people from our past coming back into our life, right? Sometimes it's the past life connection with other people, but especially at this time of year where, you might be going home for the holidays, you might be going, seeing family members and friends that you haven't seen in a long time. So it does make sense that a card like this would appear for this, or during this month of December. And it's happy memories, right? It's a very happy, a happy energy. So it's a card of nostalgia, just remembering something happy from the past, reconnecting. And it's that childlike, we see the beautiful child with the woman on the card. It's that childlike happiness, right? And again, the woman is looking back on the child, but it's almost, as if she's seeing herself as she once was, right? So she's And again, with this looking back, it's kind of like she's looking back to something in the past, but she also understands that she needs to move forward into the unknown, which does, it goes along. It's the woman that we see here, and here she's sort of, she's looking past, but she knows that she must move on. There are new things coming in for her. In the hopes and fears position, you have the Queen of Swords. Now, Swords energy, again, this is the thoughts, the cerebral energy. And the Queen, when the court cards appear, they can be either a person that you are interacting with during the month. They could also represent a situation or an event that you'll be dealing with, or they could just be you taking on the energy of this Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, she is somebody who she's more head over heart, right? So she's somebody who uses her intellect to make a decision, to move forward, right? She's here, obviously, she's portrayed, she's a female, as a queen. Doesn't necessarily have to be, though. If this is a person, this could be male or female, air sign, typically older, right? An older air sign. Doesn't necessarily have to be, though, but this could just be you taking on the energy of this air sign queen, right? And she's somebody who is very fair. She's very wise. She has her sword. You see, the sword is drawn there, and we have this light coming off it. So it's like the light of truth, this communication and truth really cutting through everything to find the truth. And she's also surrounded by butterflies, much like we saw here with the High Priestess. So there's something, I think, maybe in the past year, or within the last either 2 weeks or 2 months, you might have found out the truth about something. Maybe you did tap into, your inner, your intuition more here. But there's something to do with truth and finding out truth. And with this is your hopes and fears. And in the butterflies, we have the new beginnings, the new life. It's you feeling very calm, right? She is very, even though all of these things are going on around her, she uses her intellect to kind of diffuse conflict, to resolve problems, and she's ready for action. So we have the Queen of Wands being very poised and ready to take action here, and then we also have this other Queen of Swords. So I feel like you just, you're moving away from something that was no longer serving you. You're moving towards something new, but you're feeling very good about it. You're very energized. You're feeling excited, and you are not afraid. You will be confronting things sort of head on, and you're moving towards this new chapter, new phase. And you have as the outbound energy, the Eight of Pentacles, which again, like I was saying here, it's usually a card that deals with its Pentacles energy. So Earth energy has to do with our like things in the material realm, the tangible things that we can touch and see. So it's usually, it's the work that we do. It's the money that we get from the work that we perform. It's our material possessions, our homes. It also has to do with study, our education, taking care of ourselves. Many different things, but it's the Eight of Pentacles is an apprentice card. So it's you just, as you leave the month of December and entering into January, the new year, this is you feeling or working very hard, right? So just working very hard to master something, to master a skill. You could be learning something new. This could be you returning to or going back to school. This could be you working very hard on a particular project. This could be you taking additional training at your work in order to get a new promotion. This could also be you sort of working on yourself. The card, yes, it does. It's a Pentacles card, but this could also be, you really working on yourself to become the best version of yourself, right? And you've achieved a lot. You've improved a lot. You've walked away from things that no longer serve you. You've taken time out to kind of evaluate everything and figure out your next steps. And, now you just feel as though you're nearly there, but you just need to, you need to work on something a little bit more in order to achieve that, right? In order to have that new start, the new beginning that we see here with the Fool. So it looks like it's, I feel as though kind of like, when the horses are there at a race and they're ready to get to get going, and they're kind of, behind the, whatever it is, like the gate, and they really want to get going. That's kind of like the energy that I get off of this. It's like you're really ready to go, but you just need to do something else. There's something else you need to still, work on during this month of December, but new things are definitely on the horizon here, definitely coming in for you. Now let's see how the 2 additional cards relate to the reading. Usually for the oracle cards, I read from the guidebook for the cards, and then I'll try to relate the messages from the 2 oracle cards to the rest of our reading. So beginning with the Envy card, which is from the Soul's Journey deck. This card says, you must learn to accept that the obstacles in your life have been chosen by you. To be jealous of the soul path of another is to doubt your ability to judge what is best for you. It is human nature to covet the perceived luxuries of someone on a different journey, but to try to emulate him or her is not being true to your own guidance. You have chosen this life and these circumstances for a reason. By disregarding that and following in the footsteps of another, you are only setting yourself up for confusion and disappointment. You never truly know what is going on in another person's life and what personal challenges he or she may face. So to be envious is a fool's game. Be authentic to your inner voice, because only you know what is in your best interest. If you don't follow your own path, you will have to reincarnate in an attempt to learn your original lessons again. That's interesting. It says, to be envious is a fool's game, and we have the fool appear here. And then talking about being authentic to your inner voice, those were the messages that were coming through on the High Priestess card. So I think that really relates to these 2 cards. Let's see what the other card has to tell us. This is card number 41, the Unknown. And it says, when I find myself at a crossroads where something old has come to an end and the new is yet to be formed, I am gentle and patient with myself. As I release the old, I trust that the universe is creating the space for the new to enter my life in its own perfect timing. I keep my heart open and embrace the mystery, knowing I can't hurry this process. Sometimes when I don't know when, don't know how, don't quite know what or with whom, something magical happens. I open myself to the alchemy of my soul's growth. I enter a change portal in my soul's journey that calls me to bow to a design and intelligence infinitely greater than my own. Living in this place of don't know calls for courage, patience, curiosity, and trust. I reach out for support from those that love me. I open my heart to the loving guidance of the divine. And then the card affirmation says, I bow to the infinite intelligence of the cosmos and my next steps are revealed. So this is really interesting because all of this has to do with walking away. We saw here with the Hangman card, I was talking about the seeing things from a different perspective, and also the divine timing of things, right? And then we have the World card, ending of one cycle. We have the Fool card, beginning of another cycle. And then with the Eight of Pentacles, the message I was getting here, even though typically I think of the Eight of Pentacles as, working hard, toiling away at work, I really just got the feeling that this was more to do with working on yourself. And that, it kind of comes through here that you need to, work on yourself, trust in the fact that, listen to your inner voice, trust in the fact that even though one thing is ended and another thing is coming, it's going to begin, you're kind of in this unknown place right now, but that's okay. Use this time to reflect, to recover, use this time to work on you, because it seems as though, if this probably will not culminate during the month of December, but I would say, within 2 months, so December, January, at the most by February, these changes, it will definitely move ahead, and you will be, poised and ready to begin on this new journey, this new phase. But as for right now, it's kind of this, the waiting, but trusting is more of a card asking you to trust in the unknown, in the fact that, you might not see it, but things are moving ahead as they are supposed to. But a little bit more personal Right, work needs to be done here. Work away. Okay, well, that's interesting. I think that's a very nice message for the end of the year, and very appropriate with the endings, right? Ending of one calendar year and beginning of a new one. So be very interesting to see what your 2018 reading has in store for you, Virgo. I will be putting that out again very shortly, so over the next couple of weeks for you to be able to take a look at. And just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful month of December. Bye.